This is Kembe X with HotNewHipHop, Village Up 777. Talk Back out now, Buried Alive out now. Fuck with your boy. I'm from South Holland, Illinois, which is like 5 miles south of the city limits on the south side. And growing up where I'm from, it was pretty quiet like the first 10 years until they started to tear down the projects, started to slowly put Section 8 in that area. And now when I go home, like every 6 months, it just get uglier and uglier, but also like see more kids out, see more people that look like they having fun. Cause like I said, when I was younger, like it was old white people there and no kids nowhere, you feel me? So, I mean, I'm blessed to actually be from a place that's not so saturated with violence, you feel me? Somewhere more quiet and safe, as a haven away from the city where I used to do a lot of my networking and shit like that. So, Soho crazy. Soho crazy. See, it's not New York Soho to us, that's South Holland. My mama playing gospel music and my daddy playing this weird old 70s and 80s rock and like country, like Hootie and the Blowfish and stuff like that. That's really when I first discovered music. When I was going to school, people was listening to a lot of rap. That was my first experience with music. What got me into it was more so writing poetry in school, like fucking off, not paying attention, just writing poems. It's really what got me into writing. Music, I mean, it's always around. I feel like you can't avoid music. I first started making music when I was like 15, and nobody knew that I was doing it. Like I would go to like a random homie house that had a setup, and we just write and record over there, and I put out the song on Facebook, and I tell them, you can't tell nobody this is me, you know, you better put a silhouette or something over my picture. And I started taking it a little more seriously once I let people know that this is me on this verse, and now I'm putting out music every week on Facebook. I was getting really good feedback. So around 2010, I was 15 years old when I first started doing this. That's 6 years. When did I wake up and feel like this is all I'm gonna do, this is my career? To be honest, I was living like it from jump. Like this is what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna treat rap like school, and I'm gonna make it work regardless. But when I put out my first mixtape, Self Rule, in 2011, like a week after it came out, it was featured on Forbes' top 10 free albums of 2011. And that like it was blowing my friend's mind more than it was blowing mine, but it was just like, well, I can do this. Like, if I could be on this list, like, you know, just gotta keep working at it. Super blessed for that, but that was like super confirmation for me. So I say Self Rule has been the most important project up to this point, just because it kind of gave me that confidence, and it broke me in the city. Like in Chicago, Self Rule was buzzing everywhere. It was featured in multiple newspapers, local magazines, and it just kind of built my buzz. It got me connected to a lot of media online, and I feel like that's what really made me feel like I'm definitely gonna do this. You know, Soundtrack to Armageddon was the follow-up. It took longer to come out, so I think that was more of like a lesson for me, like, you know, you gotta grind hard every day basically, and always be plotting. You know, never get comfortable with, oh, I got this track list, now it's just gonna go like it did last time. You know, that project really, I won't say it tanked or failed, because I love that music, and I think the people that heard it really resonated with, but it just didn't get the proper push. And but that also fueled me, you know, to go into the next thing way stronger, a stronger mind. The Kembe X EP, I think, is what taught me the concept of momentum. You know, like you just keep building, make the next project rawer than the last project, like no matter what. And I think so Buried Alive is a record that I actually recorded like the first week I moved to LA, which is August of 2013. And it really came on the spot. Like it didn't have nothing to do with that the interlude on Drake album, which is a super dope song, but it's really like a super just emo record about like how I was feeling in that moment, just about like kind of stresses and pressures of not being understood by a whole bunch of people, that whatever they saying to you don't make no sense. You know, it's like feeling buried alive and bullshit, you know. Talk Back is a record produced by Hippie Sabotage. Shout out to Kevin and Jeff. That recorded in San Diego at their crib. That if it started off as just a song, like I probably recorded 5 songs when I was out there at that trip, and it was the one that was definitely my favorite that I couldn't stop replaying. I didn't decide to name the project that till I had a project's worth of songs, and I was like, this is just the most fitting like title that sound like what this music is doing to the listener or to the common mindset is talking back. Like, I disagree, I feel this way. Fuck what you talking about, I think this. So that's kind of what talkback means to me. I think Ab-Soul is my favorite person I've collabed with that's not like a close friend of mine like Alex Wiley or Isaiah Rashad. And that's cause he really challenged me like to rap my ass off, like he'll be like a freestyle for me. And if I even started, he'd be like, man, I got like 8 bars for you right now, just that competitive energy in the studio definitely just make it more fun for me, not just writing a verse. So I definitely have to say, outside of obviously my friends, Alex Wiley, Isaiah Rashad, Monster Mike, John Doe, Ab-Soul is definitely who I had the most fun making music with. I'm part of a collective called The Village 777, which once again is me, Alex Wiley, John Doe, Monster Mike, and Isaiah Rashad. At first, my mama, when I was like 15, 16, my mom was taking me to a studio like in the west suburbs, and when they would all come, and I was the only one that was really recording. John Doe might lay a verse or sing, and then when we had extra time, we'd make joke songs, and Alex would hop on those. And it just kind of slowly morphed into something we were taking seriously, and my music always had a message, so I think it made everybody feel more comfortable with saying whatever they had to say. Got to a point where, like, when I was making Self Rule, and after I put it out, Wiley had this studio he was going to with Dr. Mindbender called The Grindhouse. You heard about it on Chance the Rapper songs, Alex Wiley songs. That shit was an hour away from my house. He'd drive his 1991 Lexus LS from 83rd to 165th, which if you do the math, that's 82 blocks to my house, and then drive from 165th south to, I want to say 5200 north, which take an hour and even longer in traffic, and that was the only session, the studio we could get for the low that wasn't like charging out the ass. That's really what started The Village, and from there we started to branch off into our own thing because we felt like more potential than we saw at first, and we wanted to build ourselves a little bit more. It was really beautiful to see all my people like coming up on their own, because now it's just something that naturally happened. I'm in front of this camera telling you about my mans in there, so that's tight to me. Ain't no features on Talkback, by the way. There's no features. The features are coming soon. The features are already recorded in the works, but I'm gonna save those, to really hurt your head when I hit you with them,